has already made plans for me. She allowed 45 minutes.
45 minutes in.
And that includes parking.
Is that going to take that long? So,
That'll take care of and whatever.
but yeah,
But
no, it was an
again,
amazing thing how
all
many people showed up.
condolences to
Yeah, yeah, no, and I appreciate that.
Well,
And,
on the lighter side of things,
yeah, so Gina even said they estimated it was over 1,000 people showed up.
wow.
Yeah,
That's
it was unbelievable. I mean, I got there and the line was out the door and in the parking lot, but I went right.
Yeah, well,
I went
you
right
know
to the front of the
people.
line. I know people,
You know
so
people. You know who else knows people?
Who? I know.
Mark Berlin.
I know.
He
Hey, Mark.
knows-
Yeah.
He's a big Yankee fan.
He's a
He
big
knows
Yankee
we're a
fan.
Yankee fan.
He's a big fan of the show.
Tonight's
He's always
tonight.
watching. Hey, Mark, how you doing tonight?
Don't tell our guests, but if we cut about 10 minutes off the show,
All right, we can go home and watch the
and
Yankee
watch
game.
the game from
Yeah.
the start. I don't
Exactly.
think that they'll mind. What do you think?
I don't know.
Let's find out.
Well, wait a second.
What?
She said before that she doesn't watch any sports except for when her kids are playing. So
But we do.
we do. So let's
So-
bring on our guest.
So
music
let's
man.
bring on the smiley face, and her name is Karen Roth, and she's the ultimate real estate person of Suffolk County and Nassau County, of all of Long Island. And let's welcome her to the show.
Welcome, Karen.
Good
It's
evening,
great.
Karen.
It's great to have you here.
I
You know, you
apologize
used to
for
work
everything.
for Remax. I used to work for Remax. Did you know that?
still work for Remax.
No, I'm saying you work for Remax. I used to work for Remax.
First, let me just extend my deepest condolences
Thank
for your
you.
loss.
Thank you.
So,
Yeah, no, and I greatly appreciate that. I really I mean, the family greatly appreciates that, you know, so, right. So, I'm sorry, Karen, I'm a little discombobulated today.
So we're going to let him catch up.
You
Okay, Karen-
you take over for a few minutes.
Karen and I met at networking. I meet everybody at networking. I'm like the networking networker. And we happened to hit it off, and I offered Karen because it's not like we haven't had another real estate person, 2, 3, or 4 on this particular show, but you are very special. And the things you do and the stories that you tell at our meetings are really great for people that are looking to buy or sell their home.
thank
All right,
you.
so why don't we talk about what you wanted to do when you were a little girl at home and what your dreams were, and how'd you get into whatever it is that you did before real estate, and why you're doing it, and how you're doing it, and what makes you so special?
Well, what I really wanted to be when I was a little girl was I wanted to be an actress. That didn't happen because I wanted my parents to make me an actress.
Oh.
So that doesn't work. You got to put in the work. So.
It's a little work
But
involved.
now everything is social media, so I get to be an actress.
You're in
I
sales.
guess.
When you're in sales, you gotta have something charming about you, no matter whom you are, to get people to like you.
Well, this
to
is my
hire you.
issue. I was a terrible actress. I could not be someone who I wasn't. So when I got into real estate, it was all about, putting on an act. I can't do it. I genuinely want to help people. And growing up, my family was in the restaurant business. So we had a bagel nosh, we had a luncheonette.
Who was your bagel nut?
We had 2. We had
Syosset?
Hicksville.
Hicksville.
Hicksville by the
I
Broadway
used to live
Mall.
right around the corner.
You probably came in.
Oh, no doubt.
We used to have the line would be out the door on Sunday mornings, and my father made me
Was that the one on
Wait.
106 or on Southwest the Bay Road?
the one right outside the mall where the IKEA is now.
Oh, okay.
Well, Boston
Yeah,
Chicken is there
Right,
now.
right.
And I used to go in at 4 o'clock in the morning, bake bagels. I used to make the cream cheeses. That was the first place that put something on a bagel. It used to be, long ago, it was you go and you buy a bag of bagels, and I
Mhm.
think you could get butter there. And
Right.
I don't even think you could get cream cheese. It was maybe
It's bagels
Philadelphia.
and Bialys, that was it.
That was it. So it taught me a great work ethic, that I have to say.
So were you thinking that you were going to be in retail of some sort? Or
No, I
big-
thought I'd work
okay,
for my family my entire
exactly.
life.
I did the same.
Yes. So fast forward all these years, I moved out this way. I live in Centereach, and it was a long drive. We closed the Bagel Nosh, then we had a kosher deli in Belmore. You'll like that. Made great
They could use
pastrami
another
sandwich.
So you live in Centereach?
I live in Centereach.
I used to live on North Coleman.
Oh, okay.
All right. We just sold a house a few months ago.
Without me?
Karen, if I knew you, you would have been it. You would have been it. But okay, so you said something interesting that I want to pick on a little bit.
Okay.
You said when you first got into real estate, you didn't like being an actor or pretending to be.
I can't fake it.
Right.
I genuinely want to help people,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not an act. You can
So,
tell.
so you kind of felt like initially you had to be like more like a used car salesman type.
That's what I always considered it. That's what I heard. Because
Right.
people go, oh gosh, it's either when someone knocks on your door, it's either a politician,
Right.
a religious person,
Or a real estate
or a
agent.
realtor. Not interested,
Right.
But I've door knocked. Don't
Mhm.
like it. I prefer to work off referrals because when you're coming from a good place, I think people recognize it. When I was with my first agency, there was a gentleman in the office that would be so fake and hang up and go, ha ha, sucker. And I walked to my broker and I said, I can't work in this office. I'll work from home, but I'm looking to leave because this is someone's biggest asset. And either that they're purchasing or selling, and to act like that, if you're not coming from a real place, I really don't think that you should be in the business.
Is that a common thing that you see with real estate agents? Because my experience with real estate agents, and my experience with any type of salesperson, real estate, cars, even just going into, if you remember, we used to go into Radio Shack. Remember Radio Shack?
Yes.
Right. Whenever somebody or PC Richards walk into PC Richards and right away, people come at you, or a furniture store or whatever.
Oh, they're the worst.
That phoniness when they first come up to you turns me off. Like, you're done.
PC Richards right over here in Lake Grove, though, I can walk in and tell the people that I already have a salesman.
Right.
They're so nice. They're so genuine. Oh, we cover for each
But
other.
that-
And they're really great.
That goes to leadership, right? And that goes to training, proper training.
Yes.
Okay. So what you're saying is the first real estate office that you were in
It was only that one person. It was not
only one
everybody.
person. Okay.
But
Because
that's
we're
all you need is
independent
one person to
contractors.
get you annoyed.
Yes.
That's all you need.
I really feel that if people can't trust you, why would they want to work with you? So that's where I come from.
That's what happens in our meetings.
Yes.
Not on Fridays, but just in general when you go to network meetings. If you can't, the person that you're talking to, if you can't get them to like you, or they just don't genuinely like you, you're going no place with that person, and
Right.
vice versa.
Well, isn't it all about, in your experience, is being genuine? Because like you said, this is the biggest purchase of anybody's life,
Yes.
right? So it's
There's a lot that aren't. There are a lot of
Right.
people that want to put it on the market, do nothing, and wait for it to close, let everyone else do the work.
right.
Today, another realtor and I were putting up a railing in one of my clients' homes.
Okay.
Two women
Right.
with
Well,
their,
you
with
do
their
have some
tools.
interesting stories, and we're going to get to.
We're going to get to it in a few minutes. So anyway, I'm sorry, I skipped ahead. So you worked in your parents' bagel store,
Sorry.
right? You got your I guess work experience. Did you work the front counter and
I started at 9 years old, pushing a broom and filling sugar, pepper and salt shakers in the luncheonette.
okay?
Then I graduated to making egg creams. I can make a mean egg cream.
You had a luncheonette too?
That was where we started with the luncheonette.
Your parents had a luncheonette?
We had a luncheonette. And
Okay,
then,
you made an egg cream. What did you put in the glass first?
Okay.
What are
Yeah,
you
you put the
doing?
Because
frozen-
there's a special way to
We
make
put
an
the
egg cream.
frozen milk in first. Then
What'd you
you
put
put
in
in
first?
the frozen milk.
No frozen milk.
Yes, you had to have the
You put chocolate syrup in.
no,
first.
no, no, no,
Then
no.
you put the milk, then you put the
No, you
glass
put-
sideways and pour in the salsa, mix it up, gets a
No.
head on it.
You
bingo,
have to
done.
pour the milk in that's sitting in the freezer, and then you drain the ice out so that it's ice cold. Okay, then you put a squirt of the syrup in, and then you have to put the seltzer in. Now we had, the regular seltzer machine, but it had to hit the spoon in such a way
Oh, of course, sideways.
that it came in, and then you had to stir it from the bottom. No,
Real
you couldn't
fast.
stir it like this. You had
Real
to stir
fast.
it like this so that you didn't get the foam, didn't get the chocolate.
Some people like the
Make it.
foam.
The foam, you have to have a
See, now
topper.
I learned how to make an egg cream the way you described it.
Thank you.
Okay, because I worked in Carvel for years. We actually made egg creams in
Yeah,
Carvel.
but you didn't come from the city.
No,
See, that I made a city egg
Hey,
cream.
oh,
This
come
was a
on.
Brooklyn.
Bronx.
This is my father's
Look,
Brooklyn
oh,
egg
he's
cream.
Brooklyn, oh, okay.
He's from the Bronx.
The
you
Bronx.
know?
Oh,
The
okay.
Bronx.
Yeah.
He's not from Brooklyn.
Not
No,
the
I thought
Brooklyn. There is
this
no
was
the
a Brooklyn.
Brooklyn.
This was a
Just
Brooklyn
So,
egg cream.
okay, so as we digress all over the place here, we are all over the map. Karen, let's get back to it. So you got your customer service training through your family's business.
At 9.
Correct.
9, you're from 9 on, right? So when you get into high school, you're still thinking, okay, I'm going to be in the family business, or mom and dad hasn't made me an actress yet. So what's going on?
Yeah, but why aren't they like taking me to California and make me like I wanted to be on Little House on the Prairie.
Okay.
Or
With
you
Melissa
picked your show.
Gilbert. I wanted to be on Johnny Carson.
Did you ever do any local theater?
I went to use Dan Camp,
Oh.
and I was one of the ones that the leftovers that was shoved into the. I think we did. Oh, we did Lord of the Rings. That's what we
Okay.
did. I was one of the kids on the island. That was,
All right.
I
I
don't
was
think
a
I had a
stage
line.
father. I had one of my 3 daughters loved to act, and she was really, really good. And I would take her from theater to theater when they were calling for auditions, and I would be there for her when she would go. And then there were times, so many times she came, oh, I didn't get the part. I didn't get the part. Then Daddy, I got the part.
Wasn't Lord of the. What's the one where they all kill each other?
Lord of the Flies.
Lord of the Flies. It was Lord of something.
Flies. That's when
Yeah.
all the kids are killing each
Yes,
other.
that was
right?
it.
Yeah,
Lord
yeah,
of the
yeah,
Flies.
yeah,
That's the.
yeah.
Yeah. No, I didn't get the part. And then I went with my friend who wanted to be a model, and she said, "Try it." So we went to this agency, and the guy says to me, "You're not pretty enough to be a model."
Wow.
Really?
You want to try acting? And he goes, so I tried reading this commercial, and he goes, "You better look for something else."
Oh, it was
Wow.
now.
So how old were you when that happened?
I was probably 15 or 16.
Okay, so that was like a reality. Like
In
a
today's
band, like
day
a
and
slam.
age, if someone said that to you, you could have a mega suit.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, mega
You know what? It
suit.
probably saved me a lot of heartache. I didn't have the drive to do it. I wanted other people to do it for me.
Oh, to act for you
Right.
too.
So after
Yeah.
so after you got through high school,
Yes.
right? What did you do after high school?
I was still working for family and moved out. Then I moved out on my own, and then I got married.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how long were you married before you decided, okay, I'm gonna join the workforce again?
Well, I was working for my family,
Okay.
and then I was working at an engineering company,
All right.
and still working for my family part-time, always, until we shut the last business down. I was still 1 or 2 days because we moved out to Center Reach.
Okay.
So I finally gave up working for family when they closed, but I needed something, and then I have my children. I call them my only children
Right.
because they're 8 years apart.
Oh wow.
So my
Okay.
stepson is 42, my son is going to be 30, and my daughter is 21.
Right.
So I called them my 3 only children. So I was
Right.
always had someone I had to look after. So I was working nights, and
Center Ridge isn't a place when you moved there that actually had bagel stores. When you moved,
Mhm.
how many bagel stores were there in Center
There's
Ridge?
still a ton of bagel
What?
stores in
Yeah.
Center Ridge.
But there
So
weren't
it's
back in
fun.
the day.
Well, there's quite a few.
Yeah, which is your favorite?
You know what? My Michelle's son Nick worked in that bagel store over by Kmart or Walmart, which
In the shopping center?
Yeah.
In the shopping center, or outside by Harrow's.
in the shopping center.
Okay.
All right, which he said was disgusting.
So I guess you didn't go there.
He started working there, and he's like, never buy bagels from here. Okay. But we used to go to the one over by Bob's, and I guess it was a ShopRite, the bagel store in there, next to where
Where ShopRite. Okay,
Yeah, where
Bob's.
ShopRite
I'm
is.
thinking of Bob's Furniture.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
yeah, but
Yes.
right over there. That's what we used to
Poppy
go.
Seeds
Poppy
is right by Harrow's. I think that's
Yeah.
Strathmore
Yeah, that's
that you
deep. It
went
was
to.
all
Right.
back.
And
Yeah.
then Desiree's opened up. And they
Desiree's,
Like
and then
Starbucks.
right, and
Yeah.
then also the other one on Middle Country Road there.
Oh, the one next to the strip that slices and all
Yeah,
that. Those, yes.
Why are we talking about
Yeah.
bagels?
I
Why
don't
did
know,
you bring
because
that up
you
for?
brought it up.
Really?
You
I'm
started
sorry,
bringing
I
it
You
up.
work
we all
for Remax.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go
How
back
many
to it.
other real estate brokerage firms have you worked for, or have you been basically your career?
one other.
One other one. And how long?
I think that was like 2.5, 3 years.
But how long have you been in real estate?
16 years this year.
16 years.
So you've been doing it for 16 years.
Yes.
Obviously, you have success with it because you're still doing it.
I gave up all my other jobs. I was like,
Right.
you can't do anything else but real estate if you're going to do real estate.
See, you know what? And that's funny because when you speak to people, I go, "Oh, get into real estate because you don't have to work that hard." But we all know every career that I've ever consulted
Right.
on, it's the same thing. You got to put the work in. People don't get it.
Absolutely.
You got to put the work in. So when you're doing this and you're now creating your life as a real estate agent, why residential and not commercial?
I'm more familiar with the residential side, being that I bought a house. I've never
Mhm.
bought a business. From what I understand, you could wait years to close on a commercial building. And I thought I could do both. And then I said, you know what? I don't think I could do both well. And I would rather concentrate on doing one thing very well than trying to spread it out too thin.
So you said something earlier about you can't be phony, you need to be real, and you really want to help people. So is that why you went to residential? Because you understand, especially living in the area. I'm assuming that Center Reach, Selden, that area is really where you're working.
Holbrook,
Jeff,
Coltsville,
right,
yes.
basically
yes,
that.
Mount Sinai,
So,
Miller Place.
so really middle to upper middle class homes that you're dealing with,
Right.
which really it's about helping people get into a lot of times their first home or even their second home.
Right.
So you're really doing a good service by helping these people. Let me ask you quickly, what is your, like, if you had to think back and go, one sale that I helped create for a family, what would be your favorite?
I don't have a favorite, but I just helped one couple just last week. They got married last September.
Mm-hmm.
And I know the mom. The mom and I met when my daughter and her daughter were in pre-K.
Oh.
So the childhood development class that they had, where they take in the high school kids are helping to learn about childcare. So you bring your kids there. So our daughters, who are now 21,
Mhm.
met in this class. And we caught up again at Planet Fitness and have been working out together off and on for years. And then I heard that her son was looking, and she goes, I told him to call you, but I feel like he wants to do it on his own. I happened to get a listing that I felt like
Would fit.
Yes. Actually, I had shown it 5 months before I actually called her about it, because I had buyers that were looking for the same thing that her son and his new wife were looking for.
What was special about what he was looking for? What kind of
He
house
only
was it?
wanted a certain area. He wanted certain criteria. This had almost everything. So I knew that they were looking for a very long time and getting frustrated.
Mm-hmm.
They had a specific price range, which was difficult in this crazy market.
Oh, it's insane.
And
I can tell you that 3 days it took us to sell the house.
oh yeah,
We had
and
25.
that's a long time.
We had 25 offers.
Yes.
We had to stop. We had to stop with the offers after 3 days, and
Yeah.
we were well over list.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
The reason why it took 3 days is because nobody wanted the horses that he
Oh,
had.
geez, I didn't
And the
have
fact that he had
any horses.
Yeah, they had 3
He
horses.
creates
at a
these
racetrack.
rumors, right? So yeah, he tells everybody I had a racetrack, I had horses, I had in Center Reach.
Now I'm going to look up this listing. As soon as I leave, I'm going
Right,
to
right
see
in
what
the
this
middle.
house was. But we started back in January looking. I met with the very end of January. We met. They just bought a house. That's how long it took.
Yeah.
So
Well, that's because the
9
banks are
months.
closed and weren't doing any work too.
No, that's the banks are cranking still. He was. They
Oh,
doing
yeah,
all
no,
these
it's
I
been
mean, you
crazy.
couldn't go to
We've
court,
gotten
you
out.
couldn't go to closing.
No, we've been closing things.
No,
It takes longer. It's just they couldn't find anything.
You know how they do in closing now? You go to your attorney's office, you sign all the paperwork.
Right.
The attorney then meets with the other attorney in the bank, and they do it all that way.
No, they're still in person.
Yeah.
But if you
We didn't
couldn't
do
make
ours
the
like that.
schedule, yeah, if you couldn't make the schedule,
Hmm.
the seller can pre-sign, the buyer comes. They
Okay.
were doing them in the cars, where the title closer would go from car to car, which kind of doesn't make any sense because
You
the
still
title closer is touching everything then. So, and bringing it into your car, which is
First of
more.
all, aren't they
Absolutely
making
ridiculous.
direct deposits into banks now?
No, they wire it. They
Yeah,
wire
same
the
difference.
funds, yes, which
Everything's-
they've always
everything's-
done.
So Karen, if somebody wants to get a hold of you, how can they do that?
They can call or text me at 631-355-0316 or email me at Karen Roth, REA, @gmail.com. They can also check out my YouTube channel, which is new, and so
Ta-da.
it's going to get better, Selling Suffolk with Karen Roth.
All right, excellent.
Nice.
So let me ask you this question, because a lot of times, what's the difference between a seller agent, okay, and a buyer's agent?
So a seller's agent works for the seller. So if the
Owner.
seller says, I've got to get out of this house. I'm moving, I've been relocated and I've got 30 days to get there. And a buyer's agent comes in and says, hi, I'm a buyer's agent. The buyer's agent can say what the seller said to them, to their buyer.
Right.
They're in a rush. We can use that if they disclose it. That's why we have to disclose who we work for. If I'm working for that seller as a co-brokering agent for that seller, I can't do anything that's going to hurt that seller.
Right. So it's almost like you have a fiduciary responsibility to who you're representing.
Right.
Right. That's why I wanted to bring that up, because it's so important to know, okay, I'm going to look for a house. Just don't walk into any, especially if you've never bought a house before, just don't walk into any house and make an offer. Right. It's a good idea to have an agent,
A buyer's agent.
a buyer's
yes.
agent, because he knows or she knows the ins and outs of buying and selling a house. And they know it. A lot of times, and I've seen this, and people have told me that they felt like this, is they feel like, okay, if I don't do what they want me to do, I'm going to lose the house.
And there is a chance.
Right.
My fiduciary responsibility as a listing agent
Mm-hmm.
is to do whatever is in the best interest of the seller. I've had people come in to my listings and go, I don't have an agent. You're going to get all the commission.
Right.
But that doesn't matter. If they're not the strongest buyer with the best terms, it's not about me. It's about my seller.
You know, it's interesting that you mention terms. I have bought a number of homes, sold a number of homes. I used
He's
to
got a
live,
yacht now.
I live on the yacht. It's parked in the middle of Holbrook.
Yeah.
And actually, this is where I had a place. I put it up for sale. And I gave it to an agent that my son played soccer with.
Okay.
Okay, because I was being a nice person. She heard that we were selling it. Fine, come over. She says, I'm only going to charge you 2%. I didn't know it at that time. She showed me nobody. Now, we both know why she showed me nobody. She couldn't have anybody directly, and nobody wants to get 1%. The other agent
Right.
on doing it. So I brought in my accountant at that time, who was a real estate agent, who actually brought me in later on to Remax.
Okay.
So he says, this is the reason why.
Right.
6%, and I'll have the house sold in 3 days. 2 days, he had the house sold at about 10, 15,000 more than I had asked for. No problem. It was done. So percentages have so much to do with them. The average person doesn't understand that.
And what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a quick break.
Okay.
When we come back, I want to really delve into that and how important it is because sometimes people don't see the value in what you bring to the table. Right? It's the same thing in my business too.
Any business.
They don't see the value in the person who's bringing it
They
forward.
think everyone's going to take them for something.
Right,
You know,
exactly.
and we're really trying to help them.
Right.
Right.
Well,
So we're going to jump into that in just a few minutes.
Right, and what people don't realize is we're going to save them so much time and so much aggravation
And make the money.
and make the money for them. So,
Absolutely.
all right, so we'll be right back right after these messages.
Coming on the Business Power Hour gives you something that you don't normally get with your typical advertising on the internet.
Or in the newspaper.
Right?
None of that stuff.
You get thousands of viewers who see the show every week, not only locally, but nationally and internationally.
For a very nominal fee. Actually, we did it and we broke it down. It will actually cost you 0.75 cents per view that you get. That's it. All right, so if you're interested in being a guest on the Business Power Hour with Darren and the Music Man, please give me a call at 631-698-9696 or email me at norman@friendentusa.com or call Darren at...
You can call me at 844-987-CBMS. That was 844-987-CBMS, or email me at Darren@bphdmm.com.
I think I'm going to get in touch with you also.
Yeah?
I am, to make sure that you get here on time.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
All right?
It's the first time ever I've been late.
Fiduciary aquata, also known as the money tree, is a tree that flourishes in the tropical rainforest. Unlike other trees, it depends on 5 separate trunks to prosper, each one bringing its own share of water and nutrients to the leaves. Like the money tree, your business has many different trunks that need your attention. Sales, marketing, finance, operations, and culture. Fail to cultivate any one of these and the whole tree collapses. I understand this better than anyone else, which is why I developed My Prosperity Tree, a program designed to address all of these areas, not just one or two. We help you identify who you are as a company, define your direction, and assist with developing the systems that will enable you to scale your business the most efficient and effective way, allowing your company to bloom into your own prosperity tree. So plant your tree today by visiting myprosperitytree.com or call us at 844-987-CBMS. That's 844-987-2267.
Welcome back to the Business Power, ladies and gentlemen, with Darren and the Music Man.
You know what? I have to interrupt because Karen said something very funny just a couple of seconds ago. Where
our guest Karen Roth.
Karen
from
Roth,
Remax.
and Norman said, we only have 29 minutes left. And she goes, before the Yankee game starts? And I just thought that was hysterical. That was a good
part of that is true.
You know what? But you know what? She's good. She's good with that.
We're going to find out how good this lady really happens to be now.
So getting back to right what we were talking about before we started, you know, one of the things that I teach my clients about is getting your value, right? Making sure you charge enough money and things like that. And real estate, we know it's a commission-based, thing. But you see all these different things going, oh, sell it on purple or whatever color it is, and you only get 1% and all this other stuff. But like Norm was just saying, you get what you pay for.
Absolutely.
Right? So having a real estate agent on your side is going to protect you from a lot of different things, correct?
Everything.
So give me some examples of why it's so important to hire a real estate agent, regardless if you're a seller or a buyer.
It's funny.
How do you protect? What do you do?
Well, I have to say, I almost had a client, I should say, who was going to list with me. She interviewed 3. She calls me and she says, Karen, if we were going to use an agent, we would use you. But we've decided to list on our own. She was looking for her home after she sold her home, and we were just chit-chatting. I said, if you need me for anything, please don't forget to reach out. I'm here to help you.
Mm-hmm.
I know that you're still looking for a home. So she had a problem with the house she was going to buy without an agent. She had a problem with her home that she sold. She said to me, Karen, if I ever were to move again, I would absolutely use an agent. You learn the hard way when you do that. She had no idea what she was doing. I stopped her from using a non-real estate attorney. You're only as good as your team. And that's one of the main things is your agent will help you get a team together of professionals that are involved with real estate. Please, anyone, don't use a litigator for a real estate deal. Do not use.
If you were a criminal,
Oh my gosh.
would you call a real estate attorney?
I say
You're
to
going to
people,
jail.
I say to people, if you needed brain surgery, would you go to your podiatrist? No.
Right.
It's a
Well,
specialty.
Urologist,
It's a
maybe, but not
special-
a podiatrist.
See, a lot of people don't understand that, right? Every profession has a specialty.
Mhm.
Just because you do a certain thing doesn't mean you're an expert in everything.
Right.
So I'm assuming, based on what you're telling me, is that you have a team of professionals around you. So if I'm hiring you, I'm hiring a team of people that can help me.
Right.
Show us by example. Let's take anybody that you might have had. Starting off with when they sign with you.
Say I came to you and I said, okay, I don't have an attorney. I want to sell.
You want to sell.
I want to sell. And I got a house I got a racetrack and horses and all these.
Do you have all your COs?
I got my own stuff. So there you go. So
You have your
I don't
COs.
even know if I have all my COs or not, right?
And
So
what's the date on everything? How old is the roof?
right, exactly. So
How old is your electric?
and those are all things that you really need to be on top of. But okay, now the process starts. You say, okay, I'm going to become your listing agent. Somebody makes an offer, and you go, okay, who's your attorney? And I go, I don't have one.
Well, before you even get there, what I find is people who try and do it on their own go, it's a crazy market. I can ask whatever.
Right.
Well, okay, you ask whatever. Now it doesn't appraise.
What does that mean? It doesn't appraise. Because when we were selling, we heard the same exact thing.
Okay.
We got to be careful that the offer doesn't go too high, that it doesn't appraise.
No, that's not true.
Well, no.
It does and it doesn't.
It does.
You have to make sure that you're protected
Right.
if the offer goes too
Right.
high.
And that was the advice we got. We got, if the offer goes too high, because we had one where it was really, really high, but they weren't going to guarantee any
That's it.
shortfall in the appraisal.
Right.
Right.
And it's so funny because when I go to some attorneys that they want to use their own attorneys, and I say, okay, so we're going to put in the contract that they're going to guarantee 60,000 above the appraised value because we're asking 550. They offered 635, but they're going to guarantee 610.
Mm-hmm.
So my
That's
seller,
the story that you told us once before.
right?
Right? Finish the story.
So I had 26 or 27 offers on this property from just 5 days of showing. I like to give it enough time to let everybody get in, especially with our essential workers. And by the way, I feel so bad for all the essential workers out there that are having a challenge right now. So thank you, everybody. Thank you, essential workers, for all that you do.
From us too.
Yes.
And so I wanted to show it, and we had 27 offers, and some we were asking 550, we got 615, 2 610s, a 605, and a bunch of other offers. But the 615 was not going to guarantee more than 15,000 if the appraisal came in short. 610, one wasn't going to guarantee anything, one was only going to guarantee 15,000. So the 605 was guaranteeing 605 no matter what. So which offer do you go with?
You go with the 605 because
There were no comparables above that number. And I had agents calling me and they said, but do you have higher offers than us? And I said, but what are you going to guarantee? They go, why, don't you think it's going to appraise? I listed it at 550.
Yeah.
If I thought it was going to appraise at 615, I would have priced it at 615.
Well, and that's what we did, right? So we took a lower offer that guaranteed.
Right.
Right. And it was still well over what list was, very similar to what you're talking about.
Right.
But at the same time, you look at that bigger number and you go, but what if?
This is what I tell, because let's say you have that $15,000. Let's say you don't get 27 offers. Let's say you're asking 550 and you get a 565 and a 570, and one is guaranteeing $10,000. The 565 is offering 10, and the 570 isn't offering anything.
Right.
So you decide to go with the 565 because now you're guaranteed 560.
Yeah.
You know it's going to appraise at 550. You have comparables to prove it. Are there times when appraisers come in and they lowball? That's why I make sure that I put on all my listings, the seller requests all buyers be pre-approved by a lender of their choice. If it's some ABC mortgage that I'm not familiar with, I want them to go through our mortgage company to make sure that they're solid. There's
Right.
some mortgage people that won't talk to the listing agent. And my job that I've been hired to do is to protect my client. And that's it.
So, I mean, that's a huge protection, because what people don't realize also is that you say, yeah, but you know what? I'm going to take the chance on the higher number. Well, it could take months for all of that to wind through. And then you realize, oh, this deal's falling apart, and it's falling apart quick.
Now,
So now you just wasted 3 or 4 months, and then you got to re-put it on.
But even if you waste 1 or 2 weeks,
Right. You could lose all those buyers that.
now you're stale. Like
Yeah.
you said, you sold your house in 3 days.
Mhm.
After 2 weeks on the market, that house is stale. In
okay,
this
so now
market.
you get the 27 or 2 offers, whatever it may be.
We pick
You
the
agree on the price, and now there's a thing called inspection. And you must have an inspection, and there are inspectors and there are inspectors.
offer. You don't
There-
have to have an inspection.
Well,
You
shouldn't
can
you?
waive the inspection. As
Well,
a buyer's
that's if
agent,
that's part of the deal,
right.
you know.
As a
but if-
buyer's agent, I always tell everybody, don't waive the inspection. Why
absolutely,
wouldn't you want to know what you're getting into?
absolutely.
You can go in and say, especially if there's 27 offers, we're doing the inspection for our knowledge only. We're not going to ask you for anything unless it's, I tell my clients, unless it's something plumbing, which now you have an active leak. It's
Electrical.
going to degrade.
Right.
Electrical, termite damage, or
A
a
roof.
roof leak.
Right.
A roof leak. Going up and saying the roof is older, it's going to have to be changed in 5 years. That's not a negotiating tool.
But not in 5 years, but if it's really shabby, you can possibly
But-
negotiate it from the get-go.
Sometimes buyers, they just want to negotiate. They want to get something. We got through inspection with no problem, and we get through everything, and they're doing the final walkthrough on the last day. This is after they've already walked through the place a couple times. Their inspector came in, everything was good, and they were trying to nickel and dime us on little things, right? The garage doors don't work. Well, yeah, they do. And I actually, where we moved wasn't that far, so I went back over there. We actually took video of the doors working
Right.
and sent them to the attorneys at closing, so they can say, look, the doors work, you're lying, you know? We had to take a.
Why would you lie over
Listen,
something stupid
this-
like
but
You're
that?
this is-
mistaken. You're mistaken. You must not know how to work it.
Right.
That's how you have to put it.
Exactly.
You're
Exactly,
so nice.
right? So it was so ridiculous that at the end of the day, we had to take $100 off the price in order for them to close. I mean, because it was just like, and finally we just said, okay, the deal's done. We're not going to go
Right.
through the deal, you know. And
Someone was in there.
the
here.
attorney was like, give him $100, all right? And that's all they wanted. They just wanted to haggle like they got something out of us. $100.
And how much asking did you get?
65.
Well, you know what?
65,000.
After you showed him the picture,
So give them $100.
after you gave him the picture of the door, I would have broke the door.
Yeah, right. No, but you know, I mean, sometimes it can be that ridiculous. It can be really that ridiculous, and you sit there and go, "Really? Why are you busting my horns about this?" But I'm sure you see horror stories like that all the time.
Well, one of the things that I just made a video about was bringing your parents along when you're looking for a home.
Which is very common.
The 5 pros and cons.
Mm-hmm.
So that was, that could be very, very scary. And sometimes it's great. I remember that when I took my father, after we found the house, I said, can you come and take a look? I just want to make sure
Yeah.
I'm making a good choice. And he walked through the house, and it was my proudest moment. He said, if you don't buy this house, I'm going to buy it. This
Yeah.
is such a
Nice.
great deal. And it was like validation that I was
Right.
making a decision. But you can also have the parents that go, I don't know, I paid $100,000 for my house, and you're going to pay $550,000 for
Well, they don't. Yeah. But he paid $100,000 30 years ago, and it was
Right.
like, you know.
right. So there's that learning curve
Yeah.
for, and how many have they bought? Are they handy? Are they not handy?
Well, and that's all things that come into consideration too, right? When you're buying a house, I remember when we bought our first house, when I first got married, that was the thing. It was my dad being an electrician, right? It was like, okay, we found a house, Dad, I want you to come check it out with me. And we did that. We did the walkthrough. And then after we did that, we brought her parents through. You know, it was like, everybody, come on, let's go. We're going to go look at the
And
house.
your agent was like,
Yeah, right. And they were sitting there going, oh my God, no, don't do this.
don't
What
do
was
the
the
parent.
story? I remember this is a financial story that you told.
Well, before we do that, I want Karen, how can people get a hold of you? You know, we need to get that out there because
Sure.
guys and girls
gals.
and everybody out there,
I don't want to get sued.
just listen. Yeah, don't worry. Just listening to Karen, you understand she knows what she's doing and she can protect you, whether you're a buyer or a seller or, you know, however you fit into this whole equation. She has the team around you. So reach out to her today. And Karen, how can they reach out to you?
Call or text me at 631-355-0316. Email me at Karen Roth, REA, @gmail.com, or take a look at my YouTube channel, Selling Suffolk with Karen Roth.
All right, fantastic. Okay, so now let's get into the financial story. Because financial stories.
Don't ask me. I'm going to ask you.
How does it
Financial
go?
There was
story.
something about $10,000 or $15,000 that you took from here, put it over there. You did some kind of manipulation, and you looked like a hero.
Oh, I don't remember that.
Okay, then make it up.
Don't you listen to me? You don't
I don't
say that
remember
to our
that.
guests. Our guest said right
This
out
is
of the
my
gate.
friend. This is not a guest.
No,
This is
but
my friend.
she said right out of the gate, she's not phony, she's honest, she's
Right,
upfront, she's
right.
you know.
Well,
And
this was
this
a
is
she's
the
not
one
going to
thing
fill
I
up
was-
a story because you told
That's
it.
what sealed the deal for me asking you to be on the show. It was so
Don't
great that
remember how I did what
another
I did.
agent wouldn't have done what you had done.
I don't remember. I do. I just want to make one point. Make sure, as we were discussing before during the commercial break, I ask every buyer to please live in your house and not for your house. Make sure that you can really do it.
Afford it.
So what do you mean by live in your house and not for your house? I
You
want
should eat macaroni and cheese because you like it, not because you have to.
Right.
right. Or ramen noodles.
Or ramen noodles,
Don't buy a
absolutely.
$700,000 house and not furnish it.
I know I think I told you this story. When I was in the business in the very beginning, there was somebody that came to me, and I had been taught by a mortgage person who I still use today. And the numbers that they were telling me that they could afford based on their jobs didn't make sense to me. So I asked them to get pre-approved by my guy. And he came back to me and he said, Karen, they can't afford a $400,000 house. They can afford $275,000.
Right.
This is back when there were houses at $275,000. And so I went back and I said, guys, you're putting yourself in a bad position. I don't care what your other mortgage person says. You can't afford that house. And they called me an idiot, some other names, and I refused to sell them that house.
Right.
So they bought it with another agent, and a few years later, I watched them go into foreclosure.
You know what a lot of
And
people
I
don't
can lay my
realize?
head
you know-
on my pillow at night and feel like at least I didn't get that commission,
Right.
but I could lay my head on my pillow and sleep well, knowing that I didn't do that to
You
You
them.
know
know,
what people don't realize?
What's that?
It's more than just buying the house. It's the extras. It's the lawn. It's maintenance.
Oh yeah.
It's all those little things that it's an extra $1,000 or so.
Well,
a
it's
month.
not
Every time you make a phone call, it costs $500 to make the phone call. You're not thinking about that.
Well, no, you know
Or
what they're not,
electric.
you know what people are not thinking about either, especially when they're buying their first house, right? They're not thinking about all the extras in life that they're going to need. What they're thinking about is, this is my first house, I want to get it, right? My first experience, like exactly what you were describing, where I was sitting there, I got mad at the guy. We were in Florida on vacation, and we did one of those timeshare,
Oh.
sit through to get tickets to something,
Yeah.
right?
Right, okay.
So we're sitting there, and the guy goes, "Okay, what's your income? What's your?" And he calculates it out. And he goes, "Oh, you can afford this timeshare." And I go, "No, I can't." And he goes, "Yes, you can, based on a number." I go, "No, you just took my income. You don't know what my expenses are. You don't know how I live,
That's what the
And-
bank asks you.
right? And the way I want to live."
The Yankee tickets that you
The
wanna
Yankee
buy.
tickets, my season ticket.
The Long
Right.
Island Railroad,
Right.
the
you know,
maintenance on your car,
Yeah,
the
you don't-
gasoline
they don't-
that you
they don't
spend,
notice
the
it.
insurance.
And the guy got indignant with me. Yes, you can afford this. Who are you kidding?
Well, he had to make his numbers.
Yeah, he had to make his numbers, right to the point where his manager had to come over, and I had to, he like cursed his manager out too.
They
said,
don't
"What
want to
is-"
let you leave.
Yeah, it was like, oh no. I said, you know what? Give me my tickets. I'm gone.
You came for the free breakfast.
I came for the free. Yeah, I said, oh, I just had to sit through your presentation and I got my tickets. Sat through your presentation. Now give me my tickets. And that's basically, it was because it would have been different if it was, I think, presented differently. But it was right. Oh, you can afford it, and it was like they was like shaming you into buying. Do you ever see that with other agents?
Where they're trying to sell a house. I can't sell a house. A house sells itself.
Mhm.
Do I see people that like push a house on people?
Well, you can help it along.
Yeah. Well, my goal is to show a house in its best light. So I'll advise on staging and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Coat of paint can go
Do
a
you
long
use
way.
Cornell for staging?
No, not yet. We haven't had the
It's
opportunity.
expensive staging too.
Yes, I've done my own staging for my investors where I bought blow-up beds. Do you know they make
Yeah.
blow-up couches?
Did it really?
I have them. I have
We
four.
actually did that when we were selling the house. We bought 2 blow-up beds because kids moved out and took all their furniture with them.
Yeah.
And instead of buying new furniture, because we weren't gonna get another, 3
I have
bedroom.
about 12.
Yeah.
Well,
12 blow-up beds, 4 blow-up couches, about 15 or 16.
Well, now you
Um,
just buy them. You hit a button and they blow themselves up.
Yes.
Really?
Although to get them to the correct height on the twin beds, I have to put a low one on top of a high one.
I
To
gotcha.
get it to look at that. This way I can also put the bed skirt around it.
I gotcha. There you go.
I've got.
So you have sheets and linens and everything.
Oh yeah.
yes,
You
yes,
make it look like a regular room.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's what Carmela does.
No, she uses real beds, and she uses a service, but she knows what to put
Right.
in each house. So it's
I watch all
important.
those shows on Channel 30, buying and selling and redoing and.
I haven't watched them since I got rid of cable.
I got rid of cable too. I got rid of cable too.
$100 less a month.
Yeah.
I'm so happy. I mean, I don't need it. I don't need the distraction because I'm usually working till midnight. So
Right.
yes, when you're asking about realtors, you can do it part-time or whatever. No, I get up at 7:30, get to the gym, and then I'm working usually about 12 hours a day.
Well, we're in the diner eating some fried eggs over.
That's only on Fridays.
On
I have
Fridays,
my omelet
yes.
on Wednesdays at my other network.
Oh, because they make a better
They
omelet.
make a better omelet.
Yes.
But no toast that day.
Does the name Remax help you with your sales?
I think that people like knowing that they're dealing with an international or a national company, someone with some oomph behind it, I guess would be.
That's who I had worked for too.
Yeah, I liked
Well,
the ethics of the company.
Well, let me ask
But that
you.
has to do with the broker.
Let me
That's
ask-
really not
My
the company.
brokers, my previous broker who sold to my current broker, they're awesome people. They're awesome agents and ethical.
So let me ask you this question about that, right? 30 years ago or 16 years ago when you first started, it was so important to have that internal network, right? In this day and age, does it really matter with all the, everybody's got access to everything? Because I can remember 20 years ago or 16 years ago even, when you wanted to find a listing, you had to go on MLS and, it was that you really needed an agent to help you with a lot of that stuff. Whereas today is you get Reddit and all these other things
That are so inaccurate.
And
Like,
Zillow.
and
Is
Zillow.
Zillow the worst or what?
Zillow.
Well,
Big extras.
right, and that's what I want to point out is right. If it's on the internet, it must be true, and we know that's not the
Taxes are
case.
so off.
Right.
All my clients go, can you just check on this property? And some of the towns don't list where it's easily accessible for the public to get the
Tax
information on the taxes. So some agents put them on with the star, with an enhanced star, with the veterans and enhanced star. So you think that $3,000 on
Right.
Long Island,
Tell everybody
but they're $15,000.
Tell everybody what STAR means.
STAR is a program that is available if you live in your home as a single person, make less than $250,000 a year, or as a married couple, make less than $500,000 a year, and apply for it once, you get it. So in Florida, it's homesteading, I believe.
Yeah.
Every
state
you get
has
a
different
discount.
programs.
You get a discount. It's a basic STAR, which is usually between $800 and $1,200, depending on the area that you live in.
And how many people that you sell to have no idea what a STAR program is?
To new buyers,
Yes.
Quite a few, especially as people are moving out from the city, they're not familiar with
Mhm.
it. Young people, I was at the gym. It was the story about how I was at the gym, and I asked one of the women, maybe that's the savings that you were talking
No,
about.
I don't think
another
it was.
agent.
I don't remember.
I was
Jim.
talking to one of my neighbors, and we were talking about taxes, and I mentioned to her the STAR, and she goes, "Oh, we don't qualify for that." I said, "Well, why are you living in Centery today? You're making more than $500,000 a year." She goes, "What are you talking about?" I was like, "What do you mean you don't qualify? You have to make less than $500,000 a year, and it has to be your primary residence." She goes, "I've been living there 14 years, and I could be getting $1,000 a year. Or I just lost $14,000."
Well, you know, and that's the thing too. People don't realize, and this is because I work with small businesses and that, and they'll always say, you know, we always do an analysis of their expenses and stuff, and they go, well, this expense is only $25 a month, and that one's only $30 a month, and that one's only, you know, $15 a month, and I go to, okay, so that's $70 a month, and that's $640 a year. They say, you want to give me $640? I said, because that's basically what you're doing. You're just throwing it out the window.
Another thing is,
You know, and
grieving.
they don't.
You got to grieve your taxes.
Yes, which you really can't do anymore because the numbers are so escalated right now.
Mhm.
But that's another thing is a lot of people only call a realtor when they're looking to buy or sell. If you have a question about how to get something done, how do I go, you know, you have a realtor that you have a relationship with, how do I go and grieve my taxes?
Mm-hmm.
Well, we're going to go show your information again because it's getting close to Yankee time.
So
But
Karen,
this is
one
how
more.
people.
Well, look, and obviously you have a ton of knowledge, and you make a great point. Any questions you have, grieving tax, anything that has to do with your house, and you know the town you live in, and all that other stuff.
In Suffolk County.
In Suffolk County, reach out.
I grew up in Nassau County, so
Right,
you can
but
still
But
call
you're
me.
the Suffolk Queen.
But you can. It doesn't matter where you are. You can give Karen a call because I know if she doesn't have the answer, she has a team of people that she can tap into.
And she will get back to
And she
you
will get
because
back
you're going
to
to call 631-355-0316 and you're going to ask for Karen and mention that the Business Power Hour, you saw her.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, just say, hey, Darren sent you. Oh, wait, Darren and the Music Man, right? I should
Well, you
mention
can just say music, man.
that?
Do you have anything special coming up? Any special seminars or anything that you do? Do you have any hot houses that you want to talk about?
I've sold all my listings.
They're all gone?
They're all gone.
Good for
But
you.
every Monday at 9 a.m., I'm Selling Suffolk with Karen Roth on YouTube. You can check out my latest video.
Selling Suffolk
Excellent.
on YouTube at 9 o'clock.
Every
Monday
Monday.
mornings.
Subscribe to my channel.
Awesome. We'll do that. All right, Karen. Well, thank you for being on the show. You were
Thank you so much.
You were
sensational.
terrific. I know
Thank
you
you.
would be killer.
Killer.
I told
Killer.
you were worried.
No.
Yeah, just a little.
And you were all natural. And there was no acting.
There's no
Well,
acting. It's just being me.
That's great.
That's it. Well, and that's the key.
Because
right?
your hair and your makeup was perfect for tonight's show.
Well, that's because our makeup artist
It was
did a good
ideal.
job.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, thank you, Karen, for being on the show.
Just great.
Thank you so much.
All right, another great show tonight. We have great guests. Where do you find all these great people?
And you know what?
Well, the question is, how do you convince them to come on the show when you're just representing
I'm
yourself?
charming.
You show them the video of me, right?
Yeah, listen,
And they want
I am absolutely charming. She's talking about being sincere.
Mhm.
I'm sincere.
Yes.
There's nothing that we do when we did our commercial that everyone just saw.
Mhm.
It is less than a half a cent to be on our show
Yeah.
with the
It doesn't,
I mean, how do you
with the amount of people that see the show and the
we
cost.
got a following of
associated with it.
5,300 people. Why would you not want to advertise your business
Yeah.
on the show?
Exactly.
And being that I said that, 631-698-9696. Speak to the music man. Buy a couple of tickets to a concert and come on the show.
There you go. There you go. All right, Music Man. Well, we'll be back
Again, my
in.
condolences to you and
Thank
to
you.
your family.
Thank you. They're greatly appreciated.
You know.
And, we'll be back here next Tuesday night, right here at 7 p.m.